Hello, and welcome to Outnumbered the Podcast. I'm Bonnie.
And I'm Audrey, and we're moms to a combined total of 16 kids, with 2 more on the way.
Yes, we know that sounds insane, and it usually is. But we're here to share the tips that help us keep our sanity and to share inspiring thoughts that help us get through each crazy day.
Uninterrupted conversation is foreign to us, but we'll try. And we invite you to join us on our journey as we find joy in the chaos of motherhood. Hello and welcome to Outnumbered the Podcast. We're on episode 11. And I'd like to start today by introducing you to a superwoman, a lady who does the laundry for 10 people every single day. This is my co-host, Bonnie.
That's a good one. Hey, it takes a superwoman to know one. I will give you credit for that as well. It's funny. A lot of people, that's one of the first things a lot of people bring up when they hear about our big family is laundry. You do laundry for that many people? And it can totally seem like an overwhelming job, especially if we get behind. We go on vacation and I come back and I'm like, well, I'm just going to drown in this laundry and they'll find my body in a week.
Monday laundry is always the biggest because Sunday I don't do laundry. So Monday laundry is like twice as big.
Yeah, because you took a day off. Way to go.
So today we've got a whole laundry list. We're going to cover everything related to laundry and things we've done. Things we've done to reduce the time we spend in the laundry room. How to unhook yourself from that ball and chain known as the washing machine and dryer.
That's right.
We're going to start with this week's humor segment.
Okay, so today's is actually mildly laundry related. Are you ready for it? Okay, this insane mom moment comes from Rena on Instagram. And she said, yesterday my kids did something I did not expect, and I have 5 boys. Need I say more? Well, they took turns peeing in the super soaker water gun and shooting each other with it.
Oh, no.
She says, seriously, how do they think of these things? It was so gross. I always try and look for the positive, so I was just happy they did it outside. That is a good attitude.
Oh, boy. I think that would have taken me quite a while to find the positive in that situation.
Yeah, good for her, right?
Man.
Oh, yeah, good time. So she's got some laundry on her hands now, apparently.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to air our dirty laundry?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So before you ever get started with laundry, there's some pre-laundry decisions you can make to make laundry easier before you ever get to the laundry room.
Yeah, that's right. And it took me a long time to figure this out. I just thought, well, we bought clothes and we wore them and then we washed them. But as the family grew, I realized some things have to change or I'm going to be washing forever. Yeah. One of my tips for these pre-laundry decisions is that I'm a pretty big stickler about what goes into the laundry basket. So I'm kind of this little hawk that goes into people's bedrooms sometimes. It's like, I found a clean pair of pants in the laundry. What are these doing in here? You know?
My favorite is finding a folded shirt in the laundry.
Oh, the worst. The worst. My mom said one time she went in to check on my brother's room and he was notoriously messy. And there's a big pile of clothes. And as she starts cleaning them up off the floor, she finds an entire folded stack on the floor from the week before. And she's like, oh, you are dead, child. And we've come up with a couple of rules for this. So all my kids know we wear pants more than once. Unless you've rolled in mud in them or had an accident, then we wear pants more than once. But we don't wear underwear more than once. Underwear are a one-time gig. It's a surprise sometimes these children, right? But these are basic principles that we adults live our lives by. They need to be explained to children.
I know, and it's surprising how old of a child sometimes you have to explain that change your underwear every day rule to.
Yes. One time I told my oldest, oh gosh, he was probably 8, old enough to know better. And he said something like, my feet itch. And I'm like, have you been changing your socks every day? And he said, every day? I said, yes, son, you have to change socks and underwear every day. Well, I don't think you told me that. And I said, well, if you don't, you can get like germs and bugs living in your, trying to explain this to a child. And he's like, well, I didn't know the consequences of that rule. I'm like, yeah, they're gross. Just change them.
And then there's kids where they go through the stage. I've had kids go through both these stages where the kids, they hit this stage where they change their clothes. This is a little girl thing for us, 8 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and you'll ask, why did you change to this other shirt? The other one, you had on wasn't dirty. Oh, well, I got a spot of water on it, or I just like this one better, or, with some dumb excuse. And they really just want to, I don't know, practice getting dressed and undressed.
Yes, my 3-year-old is like that right now. And if she can't stand any water on her at all, if she gets a speck of water on her, I have to change my shirt. I said, it'll dry. No, I have to change it.
I have had 2 like that. Okay. Absolutely will not tolerate 1 drop of water on their clothes.
So then I just hang it back up. You could wear it tomorrow. I'm not washing that.
And I don't know if any of your kids have gone through this stage, but my 2 little boys right now are in a stage where I don't even know why they have more than 1 shirt and 1 pair of pants in their drawer, because they wear the same camo shirt and camo pants every single day, day in, day out.
Do you pretend you can't see them all the time? That would be my favorite joke. Yeah, and that makes it a little difficult to wash, especially if they're stinky boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing you can do is, one thing we have done that's helped is, because I do laundry every day, we kind of do capsule wardrobes, especially for the youngest kids who sometimes have trouble matching like colors, or they wear, stripes and dots at the same time or whatever. So if you get them just a little capsule wardrobe where everything matches, and then they have less clothes to be laundered, but they also they don't look like a clown everywhere they go.
Yes. I like that idea. And actually for those younger kids, it's usually pretty easy to find like a store-bought collection that works like that. You can go to Target or Walmart or something. They have a colorway that they're using that season. Just buy all their clothes like that. And they all mix and match. Yeah. I used to be pretty picky about each kid having their own specific set of clothes. But as we got more clothes, and kids, as they get older, they don't grow quite as much in between each size. I much prefer to let my kids who are close in ages share clothes as much as possible until they stop liking that, which is about 7 or 8 for the girls and maybe a little later for the boys. Just because it's a lot easier. Like my twins, I've noticed, I do a lot less laundry, and, just because they can mix and match more things, even though they have, more than just one actual person, obviously. But, and then I've learned also over the years that sometimes I make myself kind of crazy because I don't want a lot of clothes around, but then I find myself having to launder each kid's stuff twice a week or something. And I really dislike that. I'd rather do a big load less often. So that for me personally, I've actually defaulted to the side of buying more underwear and socks and like the shirts that they're changing every single day, just so that I don't have to do laundry quite as often, even though it means a bigger load at the end. If that makes sense.
Everybody has to figure out what works best for their family and their situation.
Right. And it depends on what your kids are doing every day too. So like our kids are homeschooled. So guess what? They can look homeless most days.
They can wear their pajamas if they want to.
Yeah. But if your kids go to school, or if they have a uniform, obviously your laundry system has to look a little bit different to accommodate for that.
We have specific clothes for specific activities. So in the morning, my kids put on their chore clothes and they go outside and they do the animal chores, and they come in, with chicken poop on their pants or whatever, and they go change. And then those clothes get washed pretty often, but then the clothes that they choose to wear the rest of the day, those could be hung up and worn again if they didn't get them dirty or spill on them or have an accident or something. Yeah.
Right.
And then we do the same thing like for good clothes too, for church. Those clothes, they're specific. They can't wear those to go outside and play and wrestle and get grass stains on. Those are specifically so that those clothes stay nice longer, and that helps with the laundry. Yeah,
that's funny you bring that up, because when in my house growing up, my mom wouldn't let us change out of our church clothes on Sunday because she claimed that it made us stay a little bit more reverent and Sunday-like if we were in a dress all day, that we would be less likely to go outside and play football. But then she had to wash the clothes every time. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I let my kids change as soon as they're home, and then it's like, good, you can wear that dress next week.
Hang that up. I don't have to iron it again next week.
Exactly. Okay. Another tip for these pre-laundry decisions is to buy clothes and colors that need less care or fewer laundering sessions or less ironing, I have become an ironing hater. I used to iron a ton when we were first married, and I just hate it. If I'm not sewing, I'm not ironing. So I usually, so my husband's church shirts are we spend a little bit more to get the kind that just don't wrinkle, and I pull them out of the dryer and I hang them right up because I just, because those are things that are just not worth my time. And sturdier clothes, like, so if your kid gets a really, frilly little tutu that she loves to wear over and over, chances are good it's not going to hold up to a lot of laundering, and especially if it's something she likes to wear all the time. So, I like corduroy, I like jeans, I like these things that are gonna hold up and probably keep from staining a little bit better than the things that are frilly.
Right. If you're going to buy your kid white clothes, also buy bleach, right?
Amen. Yeah. That's right.
My solution on ironing is I teach my girls how to iron their brother's clothes. They're in their brother's clothes. And then I teach my boys how to iron their clothes too. Or at least shortcut ironing. Like, if you're putting on a button-up shirt for church and we're in a hurry, then you say, okay, see this button placket right here in the middle? You don't have to iron the whole shirt. Just iron that button placket right down the middle and it'll be
right.
It'll look good.
Yeah. And since I've quit most of my ironing, my favorite tip is just a spray bottle of water. And this doesn't always work. Like, it works really well for us because we live in Phoenix and it's really dry all the time and hot. So things dry really, really fast. But if I pull something out and it's been left in the laundry basket, or they need to get dressed in the next half hour and it's really, really wrinkled, I just spritz it down really good and stick it on a hanger outside and it dries quick and they throw it on. I mean, that is like my solution every time. Or stuff just languishes in the laundry basket sometime. I'll pull it out, spritz it down, and stick it in their closet, and by the time it's time to wear it, it's all quote unquote ironed.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's also frequency at which you want to wash, say, bedding or towels. Like here, we always use our towels twice, at least twice, because you're drying off a clean body, right? So you don't have to throw it in the laundry right away. And then just like you were saying, so we wear our good clothes twice, but kind of to keep track of if you've worn it once already or not, instead of hanging it backwards, right? Yeah, you hang your hanger backward.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That you know which ones have been worn already once and which haven't. Or you can, instead of hanging it, over the shoulders of the hanger, you can just hang it over the bar part of the hanger, just a little bit different.
Oh, that's smart.
So if it's been worn once or twice.
Well, my kids like to wear the same thing over and over to church, and I like them to have a little bit of variety just because I'm picky like that. So oftentimes when they're done, and once it's been washed or if it's still clean, I'll hang it up and then I'll make sure they stick it in to the far right or far left of their closet. Yeah. And then I say, you pull your clothes from the far, whatever the opposite is of where they hang it up. So I'm guaranteed at least 3 or 4 Sundays before they wear the same thing again until they wise up and then they just pick the same thing.
Yeah. I have one kid who likes to wear the same thing every single week. And I'm like, don't you think people are going to start remembering that you've worn that same outfit for 2 months?
He doesn't care. He'll just get picked out of a crowd. They'll always know it's him in that shirt. Okay. So moving on from the pre-laundry decisions, we can talk about age-appropriate kid responsibilities, because if you've got kids, they should be helping with laundry, right? This has been something that's been difficult for me because I am a little bit... What's a nice way of saying it? I'm a little type A, and laundry is one of those things, especially if there's handmade things in there or if there's things that I've spent money on. Because clothes are one of my passions. I just love cute clothes and I love making them. And so putting nice clothes in my kids' hands, I'm like, don't ruin this. Oh, don't dry that. So I do try to keep our clothes as low maintenance as possible. But we do want to talk specifically about the ages that are appropriate for each of these tasks so that you can get kids helping out by the time they're teens, because sadly, if you wait till they're 11 or 12 and capable to ask them to help, chances are they're not going to be used to it
and they're not going to help.
Exactly. So starting off with the youngest of ages, so about ages 1 to 5, those are all capable of putting away laundry. So obviously your 1 and your 2-year-old are going to make a bit of a mess if you give them a folded shirt. But if you guide their hands and say, here, this is how we put the shirt in, they get so excited and they love to do it. And your 5-year-old is definitely capable of taking those clothes and nicely putting them in the
definitely. Drawer. That reminds me of one of my favorite Calvin and Hobbes comics. We'll have to put a picture of it in the show notes. It's where he's holding up a shirt and criticizing his mom. Why didn't you iron this shirt? And why isn't my underwear folded this way and not that way? And then the last, he's criticizing his mom. And then the last frame, he's just taking an entire pile and just stuffing it into a drawer.
Good for his mom. Oh, you think you can do it better, my son? Here you go.
So from ages 6 to about 10, they can gather the laundry and get it all to the laundry room so it can be washed. And then they can fold all the laundry, like I mentioned in our episode 3. It was when we talked about chores and kids. My kids fold all the laundry, and it's not pretty. And sometimes I could do it faster myself, but they like to listen to audiobooks and fold laundry. And then as well as, they put their laundry away and maybe help their younger siblings get their laundry in the drawers a little nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. And the interesting thing about gathering the laundry and getting it to the laundry room, one thing that I found is one of the most important lessons we teach our kids is cause and effect, right? The consequences of our actions. And one thing I've noticed is how hard it is for kids to understand that when the clothes are dirty, they must come out of your room, get washed, and then be returned in order to be clean, right? So like one of my 7-year-olds has a real hard time with this. She comes in and she's like, I need more underwear. And I'm like, okay, well, what does your laundry basket look like? It's full. Okay. So we can logically conclude that, but her solution is let's just buy more. And so I think giving her the responsibility of gathering it and getting it to the laundry room helps her make that connection, and it seems silly to an adult, but she needs to make the connection. Then I put it dirty in this basket. It needs to be washed. So let's get it to where it needs to go.
Yes.
And then hopefully in another couple of years, she can take care of it herself.
Yes. And then there's the kid who throws their things across the room at the laundry basket and doesn't get it in. So if I'm the one gathering the laundry, especially, like when I'm pregnant, I'm like, I can't crawl around on the floor and pick up all your laundry that you missed. Right. I'm only going to wash what's in the laundry basket.
Good for you. Yeah, seriously. You don't have any underwear? Oh, look, there's 7 pairs on the floor of the bathroom.
I can't tell if it's clean or if it's dirty on the floor. Well, sniff it, kid. I'm not doing that for you.
The underwear, we're going to default to dirty. Okay, so moving on to ages 11 to about 15. This is where they really get helpful, and they can totally start their own laundry and switch loads. This is a very simple task, and especially if you're out running errands, you can say, guess what? You are on laundry duty, and it can be as simple as just moving one load from the washer to the dryer and throwing in the new load. A few tips for this when you start getting kids to wash their own is to make sure they know what clothes should look like when they go in the washer. So they shouldn't look like a pair of pants bunched in a ball with underwear stuffed in there. They shouldn't. And there are certain things that are a little bit better to wash inside out versus, right side out. And so, and that also then translates into how they treat their clothes in their room. So the kids that load the washer know to not pull their pants and their underwear off in one big heap, because they're going to just have to pull it back.
Exactly.
That drives me crazy.
Me too. And the legs are inside out, so you can't even shake the underwear out. You
I know. Then you have to touch them. Oh, you touch them.
I remember sitting down with my oldest 3 when they were in the 11 to 15-year-old age, and we had gotten a new washing machine, and their excuse was that they didn't know how to run it, so they couldn't start the laundry, Mom. And so
that's an easy solution, kid.
So I drew this big diagram. We have this great big chalkboard in our homeschool room. And I drew this big diagram. I said, all right, listen up. There's 3 variables on a washing machine: the water temperature, the length of the cycle, and the amount of dirtiness. So basically any washing machine you can run from this point out, because you just pick those 3 things: water temperature.
Smart.
And then I'm like, okay, now go.
Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. Because there are things that, you just do, kind of mindlessly because for example, I haven't run a washing machine load on anything less than extra large in probably 5 years. But that's something that, they need to know that, when we wash the whites, that I always turn it to hot. Don't forget to turn it back to cold or warm or whatever. Yeah. So
that's another thing you have to teach them too. And I've seen lots of nice, helpful printables on the internet that you can hang in your laundry room, where you teach them about sorting or what kind of clothes get washed together. You don't wash your white Sunday shirt with your blue jeans or, that sort of thing.
Yeah. In fact, on that note, just a quick question for you. How picky do you guys get on your sorting? Are you pretty good at sorting colors, or do you get kind of, blasé about that?
I usually do. Okay. So I do 3 to 4 loads a day. And one is whites, which includes things that need to be washed on hot. So underwears and towels. And then colors. And so that's unless it's a really huge load, like Monday, I might have 2 loads of colors, a light color and a dark color. And those are washed on cold. And then the last load is jeans, because we wash those, they bleed their entire life. So you don't wash those with anything else. Yeah. And then some days I might have an extra load of towels or bedding or something.
Yeah. One of the, and I should have included this in the pre-laundry decisions, but one of the things that I've changed in past years is I just don't buy light things for my little kids anymore. Like if it's not a dark color, I'm like, pass. It's an adorable shirt, but it's going to get cleaned in 5 seconds, or, bleed on something, because I've gotten a lot less picky about how we sort as well. So I do try to keep jeans kind of on their own and always whites. But other than that, I just kind of, and they're kids' clothes that I usually buy for cheap. So if it's not handmade or something that I really love, I'm a lot less picky. And I've also found that, and we'll talk about our favorite tools later on, but I've also found that Oxiclean gets out dye run. So if you have dye transfer, you can soak it in Oxiclean. It very often gets it out. So I have solved my problems that way.
We both have a bunch of recommendations for the end, so stick around till then. And then age 16 plus, they can do their own laundry, and you can give them a responsibility for all the laundry, so they can do everybody's laundry too. At our house, I actually don't have my teenagers do their own laundry, because it's just too complicated. I have too many teenagers, and somebody's stuff is sitting in the washing machine for 4 hours, and nobody else can get their stuff in. So we do it together, but they can take the week where they're like the manager or the supervisor of laundry for that week or whatever. But if you have a better setup than we do, or less teenagers or something, they can do their own laundry.
Yeah. Or if you have 2 sets of washers and dryers, which I really wish we did, but we don't.
Yeah.
So that leads us into possible laundry scenarios. So there are, as many different laundry setups as there are households in the world, really. Yeah. But we're going to share a couple of our favorites and possible ones, especially for larger families or just frustrating laundry rooms that could maybe lend some success to your situation. So a friend of mine who also has 8 kids, she in her last house had a family laundry room. So that meant all the clothes were stored in this big, gigantic room. It was like a spare bedroom. Nice. It was really big. So she had her washer and dryer in there. The kids came in, changed there, left their dirty clothes there, and then got dressed in there. So the boys would have a turn, the girls would have a turn, and then there were never any clothes in the rooms, and they never had to take them anywhere to put them away. And I thought that was pretty darn genius. So if you're building a house or you have all the space in the world, do that. That sounds amazing. Yeah. What we've started using in this current house, because we have a little extra space in our laundry room, is by no means large, but we've started. So I keep empty baskets for each kid on a rack, and they actually it's a half a basket per kid, because I don't have that much space. But that's where the clean clothes go. So when they bring in their dirty laundry basket, ideally every kid who shares a room would keep their clothes together in one basket. But that's not always realistic, because I have a baby who poops her pants and we throw that in with something, or somebody jumped in the mud and we throw that in with it. So things are always getting mixed up. When they do get mixed up, I pull it out of the dryer and immediately sort it into each of these baskets. So then if the kids are desperate and saying, well, I don't have any underwear in my room, I say, well, look at your cleaning basket. Is it full? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, time to go put it away. So the downside to that is that it doesn't get folded immediately, but it has become so much easier for me at this stage of life to not immediately fold a load. I just sort it, and then my job is done. And then if they want their clothes folded and put away, then they know where to get them.
Okay, so one way that we've done it in the past, in one of our past houses, was we actually only had top and bottom stacking washer and dryer. And my husband had worked for a company in the past that actually, he knew the dark, dirty side, and those were actually a fire hazard. So he's like, we are not using these at all. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So what I would do in that situation, this was back when we just had 1 kid, but one day of the week would be laundry day. And we'd go take everything to the laundromat and get it all. They have like 6-8 washing machines. So you can get everything done in an hour and a half. And you don't spend, I spend way more than an hour and a half. So it's kind of an attractive thing to think about. Like, maybe you have a laundromat nearby, and that's the best solution.
Yeah. I wonder if we can get access to those massive machines.
The industrial machines, definitely.
Yeah. Do I have to just create an LLC and say I'm a laundromat? We have enough customers.
Exactly. What we do right now is we do several loads every single day. So that works best for us. And we can keep fewer amounts of clothes for our kids, like the capsule wardrobes, because we do laundry every day. The way my mom did it was she had laundry in her house, but she did laundry on Saturday. Saturday was her laundry day. So she spent most of the day Saturday doing laundry, but she didn't do laundry any other day of the week, no matter what.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. See, I've tried that in the past, but I think we passed that about 3 kids ago. I'd say that most people I know with 4 kids or fewer can usually get most of it done in a day. But once you hit probably about that 5 kid mark, I think it's all over, especially if they're bigger.
That's exactly right. My mom had 4 kids, so that was her.
Yeah, their kids take up more space. Yeah. So as far as our system goes, we're pretty similar to you, 2 or 3 loads. And then sometimes I like to keep things moving in there, just kind of a constant little bit of effort here and there, because it doesn't take that much effort if you have a washer and dryer. But I've also noticed that then I get burned out and I'll take 2 days off and not even realize it until all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh shoot, we gotta, so that's kind of how I roll. I'm not quite as consistent, but I do have, my high days and my low days.
Oh, I have to walk right past my laundry room to get to my bedroom in the morning. So it's I can't just ignore it because I have to walk past it every day.
Yeah. I've also wondered what the best schedule is for getting things washed in a timely manner without everybody running out of underwear or towels and that sort of thing. And so I've come up with a couple of different schedules. At first, I had a different type of laundry that we were doing each day. So, Monday was all the dark clothes from the master bedroom. And then Tuesday was the light clothes on the whites, and then, that sort of thing. And then Wednesday was all the girls' clothes. And Thursday, but then I started realizing that we didn't quite need laundry done exactly every 7 days. It was more like every 10 days. So instead, my schedule now looks like I just wrote it on a piece of paper and slapped it up on the wall in there. It looks like instead of a day of the week, it's just an order. So, let's say I did my jeans and dark things yesterday, then today means I'm on whites and tomorrow means it'll be towels. And then, so I have this order that nothing gets missed. Like one of my notoriously bad things to remember is washing sheets. I remember to wash my own because I sleep in them. But the kids, if they don't have an accident, I'm like, we gotta make them strip their beds. And then it's always a fight to get them to put them back on. But it's on the schedule. Today's the day. We got to do it, guys. Sorry. So that's just kind of what's worked for us lately.
Okay, let's go on to our favorite laundry tips to help make laundry not such a chore.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned already, we have a lot of little kids still that mess their clothes up very often. They have a potty accident or they spill something on themselves. So if something is stained or stinky, which most pajamas are, if they've wet the diaper all night long, I just strip it off and put it right on top of the washing machine. Because I find if I put it in the basket, then it'll go be another week and stink up the room or whatever. And then the stained stuff can get pre-treated right then and go into whatever the next load is that we're putting in. And then I mentioned the clean sorting baskets that we use, and I usually have some hangers in the laundry room to air dry.
Yes.
Some delicates or church clothes that I don't necessarily want to throw in the dryer. And always have something going. That's the other tip. You always have something on.
I think I heard you say one time that if your house was on fire, you would say, "Oh, wait a minute, I got to switch one last load of laundry." And that's how we feel anytime we're going somewhere or doing something. Everybody's standing around waiting for dinner, to be served. And I'm like, hang on, I'm switching laundry. I'll be right down.
Yeah. If we don't do it now, we'll get done for 2 hours.
So,
exactly.
One of my tips that helped me a lot when I was kind of getting this laundry monster thing figured out was if I take the clothes right out of the dryer and put them on top of the washing machine, you don't ever get more than one load behind. Like you see people post pictures with this mountain of laundry on their bed or on their couch. And they're like, well, I'm going to watch television for 2 hours and fold laundry. Well, I get overwhelmed if I'm ever more than one load behind. So if you just take it out, put it on top of your washing machine, then you can't take the clothes out of the washing machine and get anything else dry until that's folded. Yeah.
Smart.
Another thing
That's really
that's
smart.
been helpful is to have a laundry catch-up day. So I don't do it on specific days like you do. So I do feel like I get behind on, say, sheets and blankets and things. So once a week or once a month, we'll have a laundry catch-up day where we just focus on everything laundry that that day. And then one mom I read, she like clipped a timer to her. So when she would start a load, she would set the timer to go off when that load was done, so that no matter where she was, it wouldn't be like 2 hours later and, it's supposed to be loaded. Yeah.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah. Another thing to help pass the time is my kids fold, or I like to listen to podcasts while folding laundry if it happens to be my turn in the laundry room.
Yeah, maybe some of you are folding laundry right now. Good for you.
Woohoo! Solidarity, sisters.
That's right.
One thing, one big tip, and I don't know if I can stress this enough, is take care of your equipment. So, I say I do 4 loads of laundry a day, and I know families that do like 4 loads of laundry a week. So my machine is getting 7 times more use than other machines. So take good care of your machines. And that starts by, cleaning out the pockets really good, so that we ruined one washing machine because a Swiss Army knife went through it, and it.
Oh, I just washed a Swiss Army knife the other day. Thankfully, everything was okay. It was my husband's too, and I was like, "What is that?"
And this one didn't come through okay.
Knife
it broke apart into all the million little pieces and went down in the motor. And
no.
That was a very expensive Swiss Army knife.
That's awful.
Because it was the price of a new washing machine.
Seriously. Yeah. So just kind of off topic real quick, what kind of washing machine and dryer do you have? I'm just curious. Do you know what brand it is? Are they front loading or top?
We just got new ones because this Swiss Army incident wasn't too long ago. I think they're Maytag. I got a top loading washing machine this time, and my husband thought we should try with the agitator in the middle. They're starting to make them again with the agitator in the middle because he feels like with these high efficiency machines, they put less water in, and so the clothes kind of don't get as clean. So with the agitator in the middle again, so we're trying it. I haven't noticed a difference, but I think maybe he does or he has. I'll have to ask him actually on that.
Yeah. Well, right when the front loading craze came out, I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that. We didn't have money to replace ours. And so I just was kind of like, all right, I won't have the fanciest kind or whatever. And then all of my friends started saying, these washing machines kind of stink. And I don't know if they've solved that yet, but so I never did go that way. When we replaced our last washing machine, we got a Speed Queen. I only remember that because my dad told me, I don't know how my dad knows these things. He just does. He told me that was cool. Like the brand that a lot of laundromats use. So we ended up replacing our dryer like that too. And the thing has been a workhorse. It's pretty great. They say with a family as big as ours that it's not uncommon to go through a washing machine in like 5 years, but this thing's supposed to last 20. So fingers crossed because it's doing its job. That's for sure.
Okay, that's another tip I have is we rarely buy the extended warranty on things except the washing machine and dryer because ours is not going to last 5 years. We just use it way too much.
Right. That's really smart. Yeah. Yeah. I also buy the protection plan on my phone because my children touch it. But other than that, I don't buy warranties either. Somebody's going to drop it and break it.
Yeah. Another thought is my husband, for years, we've been wanting to buy an industrial washing machine and dryer, like even a used one, because like they're made to do so much more laundry. So we've been keeping our eye out, and hopefully someday we're going to get an industrial washing machine and dryer.
Yeah, we might have to do the same. Okay, so we're going to move on to each of our own dream laundry setups. So I know all of you have thought of this. If you've been on Pinterest for 5 seconds, you've thought of what your dream laundry room looks like. Are you guys ready for mine?
Yeah, let's hear it, Bonnie.
It's gigantic, of course, and there's 2 sets of washers and dryers. And
of course.
There are laundry chutes from every room, and when they come down, they deposit the laundry in specific baskets. So I know, this is Juliet's and this is Toby's or whatever. And then, and the clothes never get mixed up because they always just throw them down there, so clearly this is dreamland. My kids are supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. They never get mixed up and they fold themselves while we're dreaming. So
perfect.
but on that note, I did want to share that laundry is one of those things that I've definitely had to lower my expectations on. Like I said, I'm kind of type A when it comes to those things. And early on, if everything was not washed impeccably and folded and put away perfectly, that it stressed me out. And now I'm like, it's not that important. It's really not.
Yeah.
If my kids are wearing clean, relatively socially appropriate clothes, I'm going to call it a win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So what's yours, Audrey?
My dream laundry setup is a lot like you were describing your friends, where all the clothes are in the same place. We were calling it the family closet, but the family laundry room. Yeah. So all the clothes, basically, if they're not on your body, they're in the laundry room. So they don't have to be.
Yeah, I love it.
They don't have to be gathered or sorted. And then you only have like kitchen towels and bathroom towels to go track down and get into the laundry room.
See, I love it. So smart.
Yeah, of course, mine has 2 sets of washing machines and dryers, of course. And I like in the summer to line dry my clothes, some of my clothes. So it has a nice big walkout French doors where you walk out and there's a nice
little sturdy patio. Yeah.
Yeah. Right outside. And then there's a maid to do the laundry too, because, you know.
Your dream looks a lot like mine.
Maybe someday we won't be chained to the washing machine all day.
Maybe. We'll see. Okay. So we're going to wrap up with our favorite laundry product recommendations. So, like I mentioned before, the Oxiclean powder is fantastic. I know they sell it at Costco and lots of places. We get the big giant box at Costco. And the reason I like it is I always throw it in with the whites. It just brightens everything without damaging fabrics like straight bleach does. And like I said, it is amazing for soaking stains and also dye transfer. So I've thrown in, especially like since we sew, I throw in new fabric and sometimes make the mistake of doing more than one colorful print at a time or something. And if you soak it in a tub of Oxiclean, it will take out quite a few different kinds of dye transfer. So that's pretty awesome. My favorite laundry soap is nothing fancy. It's just Costco's dye-free. I think it's their environmentally friendly version because it's cheap and it works. That's all I got to say about that. And then the other thing is, anytime you are confronted with a laundry dilemma, just Google a hack. I have found so many great tips. For example, we had quite the saga of dry erase markers. So if you think a Sharpie is impossible to get out of a shirt, try dry erase markers. They are the worst. Oh. They are so bad. We had a dry erase board for a while and I was like, enough. I can't handle it anymore because somebody would get it.
You found a way to get them out though?
I did. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I believe it has something to do with rubbing alcohol. But it is a stinker to get out. It took like 3 days and 3 different treatments. So don't buy dry erase markers. Just save yourself the hassle.
Oxiclean is also one of my top favorite laundry products because, it just works without breaking down your clothes. I've used different ones before that kind of make your clothes like the seams start coming apart. I mean, they really are breaking down your clothes. So yeah, Oxiclean's awesome. And we use all free and clear for our detergent. It's free of dyes and clear of scents. I'm pretty sensitive to smell, so I don't like laundry that smells like clean laundry. Yeah. Yeah. We like to use Grandma's Secret Stain Remover. We'll link all this stuff in the show notes. And on a especially tricky spot, it's pretty good at getting stuff out. And then the last recommendation I have goes back to taking care of your machine. And so you can buy those Afresh washing machine cleaners. And every once in a while, you run one of these through and it helps actually clean some of all the stuff your washing machine has been cleaning off of your clothes. It helps kind of clean your washing machine. So we run one of those through every once in a while.
You just run it through on its own, just an empty load?
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I think you can actually do it with clothes in there, but I always just run it empty because I figure there's a lot of junk in there.
Yeah, smart.
Okay, that's it for today's episode on laundry. Head to the show notes at outnumberedthepodcast.castos.com to get direct links to all those things that we recommend and that Calvin and Hobbes comic.
That's right. Thanks so much for listening, guys.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Outnumbered the Podcast. You can contact us at outnumberedthepodcast@gmail.com and find us on Instagram at Outnumbered the Podcast.
We're so grateful for our listeners and would love it if you take the time to leave us an honest review on iTunes, Stitcher, or any other podcast platform. And don't forget to share the podcast with your mom friends.
Can't wait to talk next time.
Bye. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to move on to the last little bit of laundry Oh, shoot, that doesn't make any sense. Hold on.